Boker Tov, Shavua Tov, continue where we left off. Maseh Shabbat, Perik Aleph, Halachot Bishul. I think we have one of the volumes here if anyone wants, or we had it. I saw it Friday, whatever. Okay, so we spoke about Iruy Kli Rishon, Iruy Kli Rishon, Kli Sheni. Last thing we discussed was like davar gush, a piece of meat or a potato that keeps its temperature, keeps its heat, even beyond the Kli Rishon. We saw the Ashkenazim were strict, but the Sfaradim were lenient in regards to that. Now today we're going to discuss more about Iruy. We alluded to this concept, but we're going to speak about it in detail. Pouring. Iruy davar nozli al gabe davar mutzak. Pouring a liquid on something that's hard. Okay, congealed. Asur la'arot maim chamim nikli rishon al gabe davar ma'achal yavesh shelo nitbashel mishum deha iruy mivashel kedei kedipa min ha'ma'achal. We explained this outside when we learned that Tosfot in Melechet Shabbat that spoke about the different degrees of cooking. Kli rishon, kli sheni, iruy, ulinyan di'avad ayen beha'ara. So the halakha writes that lechatchila it is forbidden to pour hot water from a kli rishon. So again, I have an urn plugged into the wall. That's a kli rishon. I cannot pour directly from the urn onto an uncooked food. Why? Because iruy mevashel kedeh kelipa. Very important principle, very important concept that you should say so you can remember the concept. Iruy mevashel kedeh kelipa. Pouring doesn't cook fully, but it cooks the outer layer. The kelipa is the shell. When you pour hot water onto something, Chachamim established, or the Rishonim established, that it can cook the outer level, the outer shell of whatever you're pouring it onto. Okay? So they try to explain. We explained previously that why does the Kli Sheni not cook?
Too cold by then.
It's too cold, exactly, but the walls are cooling it down. So with that logic, why would Iruy also? There's no walls. Iruy is being poured. There's no walls. The walls that it hits are cooling it down. So nevertheless, the Rishonim say that, yeah, the logic is true, but when you pour, there's a constant stream, a kiluach that's connected to the initial heat source, and for that reason, we can't establish it to be as cold as a Kli Sheni. That's what the Rishonim try to explain. Now, what about bediavad? In a again, lechatchila is a idealistic scenario. After the fact, someone poured from an iruy kli rishon onto something raw. What happens? Is it asur? Is it like cooking on the fire? What's the deen? So the Magen Avraham Mitzvah Shirichet Sifkan Lamed Bet writes: the im ira bediavad azeh aklipa asura sheret nitpashela b'Shabbat. The Magen Avraham writes that if you did do it accidentally, the klipa, the shell, the outer level layer is still asur because it was cooked on Shabbat. But good, we'll see. The author writes that, but it's difficult. The kevan sheladat rashbam ut'ime iruy nevashel. We saw in the Tosfot that we're referencing that the Rashbam says Iruy doesn't do anything. Iruy is like a Kli Sheni; it doesn't achieve anything. Im ken al kol panim bediavad matzinan lamismach alayot delo mustar. We have what to rely on, the bediavad, accidentally, after the fact, post facto. If someone did do it, it shouldn't be asur. You have Rishonim to rely on. Mitam de safeka derabanan nekula. Ukvar hirgish bazeh Mishnah Berurah writes that it alluded to this difficulty. Vehiniach betzarich yun ktsat, and he leaves this Magen Avraham and tzarich yun ktsat. Venirah leyashev dal kopanim lo yitiu bediavad mishum de what is it? Ela mishum de chashiv diavad v'hachad itle takanta beklipa. Svel Magen Avraham de hevek elashon mechamat pelukta. Miu b'shvitat Shabbat. So the author brings multiple opinions, and he says the Magen Avraham is strict. There are those who are strict like the Magen Avraham, and it makes sense because you can easily fix it. By removing the outer layer, the rest of the food is still mutar. But he brings another posek that says, doesn't matter, b'diavad it's still mutar, like the Rashbam. And again, in theory, I guess we can rely on that. But the idea is lechatchila, Iruy Melachot kedei kilipa. So we are mindful not to pour from an urn directly onto something that's not cooked. Yeah? No, not necessarily.
What level is the outer layer? Like, how do you measure what's considered the outer layer?
So good, that's halachot in your idea. Around 2 centimeters. Around.
There's no problem with borer if you're doing that?
No. Is there borer taking the shell off an egg? Not even derech achilah. I crack an egg. Is that borer? It is derech achilah. That's the answer. But no, it's not going to be borer. It's the same food. An egg white and an egg yolk. I don't like the egg yolk. Is it borer?
Is it better to take?
No, and it's the same food. It's not a mixture, it's the same food.
Take a little bit of the shell and put the batter with
There's no need to do that.
What is
Because
the food that
in borer, yeah, but in this scenario, it's not considered borer. What?
some foods like, let's say like a dumpling, right? Like it's multiple foods. Is that considered multiple foods?
For what? What do you mean?
For this scenario, or just borer in general, I guess.
We'll get to borer later. If it's mixed, it's a problem. If it's not, it might not be, but there's more halachot. We'll maybe get to learn those later. Yeah.
I was asking, like, what foods like really apply to like meat? You're not eating the raw meat after.
It's a good question. Fish. Yeah, you eat sushi, no? Raw fish all the time.
So you like remove the outer layer.
Yeah.
What is that? Asur for what? Just like Shabbat?
Yeah. The same halachot of probably even less. Yeah.
It doesn't count for foods that you made with an iron. Like a potato, that's how it's made. That's how it's grown.
Yeah, nachinami. That's a good point.
You're making it
I mean,
yourself.
so potato might be a problem. I mean, you can't eat potato raw. The potato, in theory, would be have to be removed the klipa, according to this opinion. Let's continue. So we spoke about pouring. He continues and says, "Mutar liten ma'achal yavesh kar shelo nitpashel betoch keli ve'le'arot al defanot hakli מבחוץ בכדי שיופרר המאכל, דמאחר שעירוי אינו מבשל אלא כדי קליפה, דפנות הכלי הם כדי קליפה, ומאכל שבתוכו אינו מתבשל מכוח העירוי. This is a massive loophole that I'm shocked no one said it. When is Iruy מבשל כדי קליפה? When the stream hits the food directly.
Splashing.
Not even that. I put it in a cup. Okay? I pour whatever, the raw food in the cup. Yeah? I pour from the urn. Instead of directly on the food, I tilt the cup a little and I pour on the walls of the cup. Then the walls of the cup rolls into the food. It's no longer asur. Everyone reads mutar because it's keli sheni. It wasn't Iruy. Iruy is a direct stream. This is not Iruy. This is no problem.
What if it's a long enough stream where it's not connected to the Kurishon?
No, it doesn't matter. If it's a stream, it's a problem. You're saying if you jump start it, then maybe it's mutar
You can't
also.
splash on a bunch and then it's not splashing.
Splashing, maybe you're breaking the stream. That's a deeper discussion. It's a good question. I don't know. Okay. And then last halacha for today: netinat davar mutzak al gabe davar mutzak. Mutar latet davar yavesh cham. I'm allowed to put something that's dry and hot. Al gabe davar yavesh shelo nitbashel. I have a hot potato on a raw potato, cooked, not cooked. I'm allowed to do that. Kegon, he gives it. Oh wow. Kegon tapuach adama. This is exactly like a potato. Cham b'kli rishon al gabe salat yirakot. On salad. That's a better example. Because salad you eat raw. So I'm allowed to put a hot potato on salad. It's not concerned. It's not nothing of Iruy kedei. And again, we don't subscribe to Davar Gush. It's not a problem for Sfaradim. For that reason, it's mutar.
What's the Ragush?
Davar Gush we spoke about yet last time was literally gush, like a piece of meat, a piece of potato that retains its heat much better than liquid. Okay? So now they bring the footnote. Why is this allowed? Why can I put a piece of potato on my salad, hot and raw? Mishum denitinat davar yavesh ke'iruy shenifsak hakiluach. Exactly what you said when you do the splashing. When you put something that is that is dry on something, it's as if you pour from an urn, but you splash, meaning it's no longer a direct stream. It was a broken stream. Ve'eno mevashel kana ve'ara ayin tet. And we've established earlier that it does not cook once it's not. Oh, we said that, yeah. About Iruy shenifsak hakiluach eno mevashel kelal. Exactly your example. When you pour and you stop the stream, like you splash, it doesn't cook at all. This is exactly equal to that. The Iruy shenifsak hakiluach eno mevashel. A stream, when you pour and the stream is broken, it doesn't cook with anyone. Very, very good. The halacha, we can be lenient according to the Sfardi minhag that davar gush is a klisheni. It's considered like Iruy, that its stream was stopped, that it wasn't consecutive, and for that reason, it's not a problem to put your hot potato on your salad. There's no concern of Iruy. Good? Chazak u'baruch.